riding horses felt like it felt like a trip, you know, like it was in a week I was riding next to Kevin Costner in Utah. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, so to be on a horse next to Kevin in Utah was like, that's like very dear to me.
So excited.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like this journey began 2 years ago, I think now, at least for us. I mean, for Kevin, it's been way longer. It's
15.
Been yeah, 15 years, maybe more. And the idea that I still have, you know, maybe 2 or 3 more years working with this material is just, you know, it's like salivating because it's so rich and he's done such an incredible job, you know, writing such distinctive characters, especially female characters, and to get to grow with characters for a 15-year time span and to know where they're going, it's a very different experience than I've ever had as an actress. It's incredible.
I was saying that I always grew up reading about those movies like Apocalypse Now that took a year to film, and it always to me seemed great because a movie can kind of take over your life, but then the next thing you know it's over and the people are all gone and you kind of miss them. So Horizon has just become a part of our lives where, I mean, I was hired 2 years ago this summer, and I'm still working on it. So that, to me, I just love it that it's become such a big part of my life.
Jenna, you've been speaking about this really eloquently.
Yeah. Truly.
But Kevin has a real eye for stories that have been unsung previously in Westerns. In this one, we get to dive into characters that we haven't necessarily seen before. And that's thrilling to play and also like exciting as a viewer to feel ourselves represented on screen.
Yeah, he's like an archivist.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like there's been just large portions of history that have gone silent, you know, for so long. I think it's going to be a gift to us. It's going to be a gift to our children. You know, I think for me as an audience member, I'm excited to see a format, a genre that I'm very familiar with. I know exactly what to expect, and to sort of be able to encounter healing aspects of the unexpected. You know, I think we need to see our mothers in these stories. We need to see our mothers' mothers in these stories.
Jenna, you're giving me shivers.
Well, we are. We're playing our mother's mother.
Yeah.
It's pretty incredible.
And it's so special too, and rare. Like, what a gift this project has been for all of us. And to work with a director who is as good a listener as he is a director. I found him shocking in his ability to be physically meticulous with me while also giving me all the space in the world for the emotional arc that I wanted to take this character on. Like, he's a beautiful collaborator and a rare find. Like, I don't think we have many directors like Kevin, and I'm so touched by his bravery in making these movies and making them himself.
I learnt to ride horses on the set, so I spent a lot of time with a horse trainer, and just to be in Utah in that like majestic, epic, natural landscape.
For me, I guess it is learn a new language. I had to learn Apache, and it's a really hard language, and it was kind of just a really fun experience working with the other native actors, you know, laughing and speaking with each other in a new language that we all just learned together. It was totally new to all of us, but our language coach was so amazing, and she was so patient, and she was so sweet and respectful. She didn't want to tell anybody when they were messing up. We had to tell her, like, come on, just tell us if we're messing up. So that was probably it for me. Yeah.
So many great moments, but I can remember the first day I got to work in Utah, and we were outside this town Moab, and you took a long drive down the Colorado River, but I came around a corner and there were, 30 wagons going up a hill. I mean, it just overwhelmed me and kind of got tears in my eyes and just made me start thinking about, I was thinking about my grandparents and my dad and, just how excited I was, but it was very moving, which does not happen a lot when you're working. So that was a very fun aspect of it, and also just knowing how important it was to Kevin. So there were so many times, as I'm sure these guys saw too, where you'd see Kevin happy on set that he'd gotten something the way he'd written it, the way he'd imagined it, and maybe even a little elevated from that. So that was very satisfying. But there were so many great days and great crew people, and you know, the horse wranglers and being around horses, and it was all very exciting.
And I mean, he really created an orchestra, and every day felt like an orchestra. I mean, when you're moving so many different parts out in the middle of nowhere with no cell service, and everyone really is in it together, it really feels like you're moving as one giant organism and creating something that, you know, he said very often on set, I want to make something that hopefully lives on forever. And when you say that every single day, at the start of the day, it really becomes something that everybody's breathing that life into.
Yeah, I remember even just getting to set sometimes, you know, because the trailers you can't go all the way, you know, to a certain place, so it was sort of like dealing with the elements was definitely
we were often on a dirt road for maybe half an hour in a little like buggy.
But just like mud and craziness.
With a lot of mud.
I remember some days I was like, can I just ride my horse to set? It'll be faster. I did, yeah, because it was faster than the buggies, because the horses, you just take them and go.
Sweet. We had a walking chapter, so it was a lot of, a lot of walking. Well, I worked with him when I was younger on a Sam Raimi film called For Love of the Game, and I remember being really nervous because Bodyguard was one of my favorite films as a tiny kid because it was shot in an area that I grew up in, Fallen Leaf Lake. I'm heralding it. But he's just so kind, you know? I feel like he's the masculine we've all been craving in a lot of ways, you know, where you feel welcome, supported, seen. It makes you feel safe in the room, and also makes you feel like there's a light on you, that he really is in admiration of a feminine spirit. And I felt, you know, and it's just so rare. I remember encountering that and just being like, wow, where have, you know, can you make more men? I mean, I don't know, you should be teaching classes.
His kindness like exudes out of every pore of him, and he really spoke a lot about, like, there are gonna be some days that I'm not gonna be at my best, there are gonna be some days that you're not gonna be at your best, and I promise, like, I will stand behind you and make sure that you have the very best that you can to be your best every day.
Dude, I remember when he said that, I think I might have cried.
You did, actually. We were doing rehearsals and Ella totally did. Well, because it also, chapter 2, her character goes through quite a journey, and all of the scenes we were rehearsing were those scenes. So Ella was crying a lot during the day because it was a lot of emotional stuff that you were going. Yeah.
It was also just very moving to me to see a person like Kevin, who is like such a person of power, both personally and in the world. He's so charismatic. He has such an effect on people. Say, I'm imperfect. I'm going to mess up, and you can help me along this ride, and I'm gonna do my best to help you. And I think especially playing a woman who is as vulnerable as Juliet is on her journey, it meant a lot to me to hear him say that. Yeah.
I think that, yeah, he does kind of address the fact that the birth of the country was kind of a violent time, and kind of that pushing across the country, you know, no matter who was in the way, there's still kind of can be a very violent country at times. It has great things like, you know, cinema and westerns, but yeah, there's still kind of that kind of violent aspect to it.
Well, I already done it. I swam this morning.
I did too.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got up at like 6 and went cold swimming.
Oh, good.
I thought no one else did that.
Oh, I was even in the water saying, I'm the only guy in the water. Where is everybody?
This is my first time in Europe, so just to see all the French people is amazing. You guys are so beautiful, and I just love how you guys love cinema so much. It's really fun to be around. Yeah.
To walk down the Croisette, it's very exciting, and to have a movie here, it's once in a lifetime. So I think we all appreciate that. Even and to know that Kevin's never had a movie here, so it's great. You know, if it's a great experience for him too, hopefully.